Hey guys, two things. I sound like this because I have COVID, and I look like this because I have COVID. For the third time, might I add, that's crazy. What's even crazier though, is that my body clearly doesn't remember that we don't like doing this. I really feel led to talk about this. So for that purpose, I really hope you stay till the end. I really think it's important to talk about, and I'll tell you why. A couple days ago, I had posted a short about how we have to forgive others and the reasons why. And someone commented, no, they don't deserve it. And obviously meaning they don't deserve our forgiveness. And it actually made me really sad because I realized how often I see that. How often I see anger and judgment and gossip and unforgiveness, and bitterness. I think that the root of all those things is because there's an absence of love. Not just in the world, but even in churches sometimes. And I know that's not with every church or every Christian, but it still existed. And that alone is like, we know better. We should know better. And all of this absence of love is being replaced with such judgment. I feel like there's people that think that because they're a child of God or a Christian, they kind of view it as like this rite of passage to heavily judge others. So I'm gonna get into that later on in the video, but I think about it all the time, like, did we forget that without love, we are absolutely nothing? In 1 Corinthians 13:1, it says, if you don't have love, you're just a noisy gong and clanging cymbals. It even says, if you have prophetic powers, you have all the understanding in the world, all the knowledge, you have all the faith, but you don't have love, you are nothing. Dang, that kind of hurts. It literally says, if you give up all things, you gave up all of your house, all your belongings, all your friends, the love of your life, all your family, you gave up your body to be burned in a house fire, but you don't have love, it meant nothing. I want you to take the heaviness of that in for a second. Jesus died for us in love and with love. Are we forgetting that the only reason we have the capacity to love others and ourselves and Jesus is because Jesus loved us first? He loved us in the midst of our brokenness, our idolatry, our sins. And so it's not a question of whether this person deserves your love or not. Because from that standpoint, you don't deserve love, and I definitely don't deserve love. We would just be in a loveless world. Man, that hits. Speaking of judgment though, so I'll tell you guys a little story time real quick. Long story short, someone had come to me saying that somebody else had gone to them being like, oh, have you seen Raquel's video? Did you see what she said? That was so wrong. And at first I was mad. I was like, say it to my face. Say it to my face, woman. Maybe I wasn't acting in love at that moment. But now I have perspective. See, it's all about perspective. And I thought about it and I was like, I'm not even mad at them. I'm not even mad at what they said. But again, it's one of those situations where it's just judgment, Where is the fear of the Lord to love people, judging everything about everyone else? Where it's just like, hold on, take a moment to look at your heart. How are you handling situations? How are you loving other people? Are you representing the love of Jesus well? Or are you tainting his reputation? In John chapter 13, Jesus came up with a new commandment to love others. He said, just as I've loved you, I want you to love others as well. Jesus told his disciples that other people will be able to tell that they're his disciples if they love one another. It's not because you gave up everything at home to go be with Jesus, not because you're walking next to him, not because you're friends with him. Only if you love one another will people be able to tell that you're a disciple. Now, I want to make something very clear. I'm not saying that as a Christian you can't judge others or be concerned of what another Christian does. But what I am saying is, if you are judging or speaking out of concern, are you doing it in love? What is the intention of your heart? Is it pure? Or is it just because you want to be involved in some drama and that reality TV show is not really doing enough for you? You know, sometimes I'll see a friend say something or do something that I'm like, hold up, accountability check. That's not God. That's not biblical. That's a sin. You know, because at the end of the day, gossip is not love. Complaining is not love. Condemnation is not love. A religious spirit is not love. So my question to you is, and I ask this with love, it's not to condemn you, it's not to judge you. It's simply to get you thinking about it, because this sure made me think. Would other people view you as Jesus' disciple? This question might be even tougher for you, but I have a second question. Do you care more about your comfort, your desires, more than you do about protecting the reputation of Jesus in a world that already hates him? If you spend so much time unlovingly judging others, it's not protecting Jesus' reputation, but even more so, there's gonna come a day where you're standing before the Lord and you're gonna realize, I'm not the one judging here. In fact, now I have to stand here and be judged by the most holy, feared, reverent, beautiful being there ever was, the greatest judge of all time. I'm about to be real transparent with you guys, but I think a transparent way that the love of Jesus can be shown often is in relationships, obviously. Not just romantic ones, you know, whoever. I personally found myself very tested in one of my last relationships. I found that I had to be very loving, very patient, gracious, forgiving, understanding. I'm not trying to toot my horn at all. This is just like a moment that God revealed to me, but when I looked back on the relationship, I was so happy with the way that I handled it, because I could truly say like I was all of those things, but the source of it wasn't about me. It was about the love in me, and not necessarily my love for him, but my love for Jesus allowed me to view him as someone who is so precious to Jesus, regardless of how many times he wrongs me. I wanted to honor that. And so for that, I wouldn't call him names. I wouldn't speak down to him. I wouldn't raise my voice at him. You know, I wouldn't talk to my friends and family about him when we got in a fight and tell them all the bad things he did or said. It's simply because the love of Jesus captured my heart. It's like night and day from him compared to one of my other exes, because I didn't show those things to my other ex because at that time I wasn't found in a first love relationship with Jesus. Just like it says in the Bible, we need to find ourselves at that first love place with Jesus again in order to tap in to the kind of love that it requires to give to other people, especially the ones that don't deserve it. Jesus' love changes everything. It restores, it hopes, it renews everything, it bears all things, it endures everything. And Paul said love is never ending. So this isn't a day-to-day decision that we can make where it's like, they hurt me today, I'm kind of over it, I don't really want to show them love today. No, it's a day in and day out kind of love that we have to pursue and show. And did you know that love is greater than faith, and love is greater than hope? Faith is so pleasing to the Lord. Faith is a thing that literally moves mountains. Faith is a thing that got that woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years, got her healed by touching Jesus' robe, because her faith pleased the Lord. Her faith made her well. So if that's true, then how much more does love please the Lord? How much more can love move the heart of God? That's so cool to me, because those moments in middle school and it's like kind of feeling love for the first time in your heart. You have this crush and they're like, oh, you give me butterflies, yeah. Or they're just like, oh, you make my heart beat so fast, like I'm so nervous around you. Imagine moving the heart of God in that kind of way. John 15:7 says, if you remain in love, then you will remain in God, and God will remain in you. So we know all of those things, but what does love actually look like? That seems like such a big, it just seems big, you know? So let me lay it all out for you. Love looks a lot like Jesus, but it looks like keeping his commandments. If you follow his commandments, then you will abide in his love, and his love will abide in you. That's what Jesus did. He kept the commandments of the Father close to his heart, and he carried them out, and that's why he would abide in the Father. That's all I have to say for tonight. I am sweating, not feeling totally great, mate. So, with all of that said, I love you guys. And I hope you stayed till the end. If you did, let me know in the comments below. That rhymed. So yeah, I hope this softened a little bit of your hearts, or just help you be mindful to, you know, watch the gossip, watch the judgment, be a little gracious on people, be a little bit more kind, be a little more patient, because at the end of the day, life is hard, and maybe we just need a little more love.
Yeah. That's the way every day goes, every time.